Oh, Bill Belichick's coming in? Everything's about to change.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, December 20th, 2024. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade, joined by our good buddy Da'Norris Searcy. We're hanging out, man. This dude's getting ready to drive down to Atlanta for the Christmas holidays. I'm so jealous because I want to get home too. You better live it up. Go get a frosted orange or something down at the varsity. Whatever we got to do to live up the home life. Sirs, folks, you're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks so much for making it your first listen or watch. Shout out to all the everydayers, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and of course, our insiders. So glad y'all are here. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Coming up on the show today, first I got to let you know, it is a 3-show Friday. Yes, 3 shows for you. We got this one. We're talking football, what things are going to look like with Coach Belichick. We got a crossover podcast with Locked On UCLA, getting ready for the CBS Sports Classic tomorrow. And then just our standard Friday show, doing our weekend whip around, a couple other things with basketball and some other conversations. So make sure you check it out. Just trying to have you covered heading into the Christmas weekend. Wow, that's crazy that we are there. Sirs.
What up?
My man, since we last talked, things have changed a little bit for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels football program. And I just want to start big picture with this thing because you and I have been talking and texting about this, but we haven't talked about it on the podcast. This is a massive, massive change for North Carolina football at multiple levels. So big picture this thing for me. How is Bill Belichick going to change the North Carolina Tar Heels football program?
I see it as another opportunity as though like when Butch Davis came in, it's an NFL coach coming back to college and whatnot. Because even when Jimmy Johnson left college and went to the pros, he never returned back to college. But Butch Davis came back to college, and you saw the turnaround he had in the 4 years with which I was there when he had like 20 first-round draft picks. He had like 21 first-rounders, and he had 48 total draft picks, me being one of the 48 total. And then now you got Belichick, who's – yeah, man. Then you got Belichick, who's a guy who honestly, I was shocked with Belichick being hired because I didn't think that Belichick would come to college football. Like, I mean, I get it. He worked a little bit in college with his dad when he was younger, but then I didn't understand the backstory either. Finding out like his dad was an assistant here at UNC, and then his pictures of Bill Belichick at Kenan Stadium when he was 6. Heard his first words was Big Duke. So, man, so it's ties, and it's a moment for him to come full circle. Everybody knows history that he has with his father, the way how he loves his dad, how he always wanted to be a part of what his dad was doing. So for him to come back, it all made sense. But I still, in my eyes, I never thought he would leave the NFL, like, because this is the guy who came into the NFL in 1972 with the Baltimore Colts, and Baltimore Colts is 2 different teams now. You know what I'm saying? Now you got the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. You know what I'm saying? And then you just think of the knowledge he was able to pass along in the history that teams he had to prepare for and guys he had to prepare against. So if he's coming into 72, I believe one of the first quarterbacks he worked with was Johnny Unitas.
I've heard of him. Yeah, he was okay.
And then the last great QB he worked with was Tom Brady. So the history and the knowledge that this man has seen, I just thought he would never leave the NFL. But him having a special place in his heart for UNC football because his dad was there. That's the first place. That's the first place as a human being he remembered like him being on this earth was on the UNC campus. And for him wanting to come back, hey, I'm all for it. It's my alma mater. Heck yeah, I'm all for it. I was just shocked that it would happen because again, I thought he would never leave the NFL, but that's the only thing.
And that was actually the next question I wanted to ask you. Like when you, like as you said, shocked. I think we all were when you heard this news. Like what is your immediate reaction? Because again, this is your alma mater. This is obviously a place that you want to succeed not just at like ACC levels, but at the national level. So as you think about Coach Bill Belichick coming in, and obviously right now we're still, waiting to get the staff filled out and other things like that. And that's more conversation we'll have to have. But as you think about this, where are you at? Do you like the move? Do you think it's a bad move? Tell me your thoughts.
I believe it's a good move. I mean, especially after hearing this interview online with Pat McAfee, when he was saying like how he would change the university to an NFL-based university, and for guys who with the dreams and aspirations of going pro, if I know I'm coming to a specific organization or university that I'm getting that type of treatment, I'm getting that type of exposure to where that when I get on that level, it's easier to adjust, then I'm going to come there. Like that's how it was when I came to the University of North Carolina to play for Butch Davis, because he brought the NFL format to practice, training camp, and things of that nature. So when I first got it's in my first thank God I was able to pick up things fast as a rookie, even though I came in during the lockout year 2011, because the NFL format was laid out like how it was in the NFL. I was already primed for learning under Butch Davis and the coaching staff he had, because he had that same format. Now, the only difference was I had to adjust to having more time on my hands, and I had to, be on my P's and Q's, because you're doing this for a living now. Every day is not promised because you're in the NFL. But I was ready because I was under the NFL type format already in college, and with Bill Belichick, I believe he'll do the same thing, because he already mentioned that's how he would run. He would run a college organization, and who wouldn't want that? With an opportunity, you already know you're gonna get a great education at the school because the school you attend, but the opportunity to play at the next level and get that same teaching, coaches are gonna listen to that. And I felt the same way with Davis. Like I feel like he had the format and he had the knowledge, and he was the pipeline to get me to the next level, which is the National Football League. And now history is repeating itself with Bill Belichick. On the difference is with NIL, we don't have to worry about no scandals or anything of that nature. So it'll be a lot better this time around. So
yeah, man, it's all there now. We can just here's the money. Let's get after it.
Man, absolutely, the money's already out of the way.
How big a deal? Like obviously, you mentioned what a big deal that is for you, knowing that NFL pedigree with Butch Davis. Like as you talk to recruits, as you talk to players, because obviously, you've worked very closely with them at North Carolina since you've been back. How big a deal is having somebody with this pedigree? Like if you, Da'Norris Searcy, were going to sit in the living room with the high school recruit and saying, look, you know the Bill Belichick resume, sign up, let's go. Like how big a deal is that to them?
That's a major deal. Like I said, they sit in my living room and I'm understanding like where they're coming from, who's the coach, and understanding the history and the knowledge and of where I'm trying to get, and understand the people who he has worked for. Like if they're that much in the sports like they say they are, they would have paid attention to the NFL top 100 when they was revealing the top 100 players of the NFL on the 100th anniversary. And the only consistent person that was on every show was Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick knew everybody. Even the segments where they went back to the clickers with the guys in the leather helmets with no face mask, Bill Belichick knew who everybody was. You know what I'm saying? So just his knowledge and being able to either seeing them in person, working with them, being surrounded by guys that had that pedigree. Like he won 8 Super Bowl championships. Like people forget that. Like they know the 6 he won with the Patriots as the head coach, but he also won 2 as a defensive coordinator with the Bills, and he coached the fellow Tar Heel, Lawrence Taylor. So a lot of that pays into my like that's too much going for me to say no, I'm not coming there. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to me wanting that structure and learning how to be a pro and develop myself as a young man, yeah, I'm gonna take that challenge on, especially if I'm serious about where I want to go and where I want to be in life, for sure.
As I would imagine, you have connected with some of your former Tar Heel teammates. Obviously, you said you're for this. I'm curious what the consensus is amongst teammates that you've talked to. Does it feel like everyone's like, heck yeah, let's get this going, or are there people with some trepidation about it?
No, only thing we're a little bit nervous about, myself included, is how are they going to take Bill Belichick being honest with them all the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying no, the coaches was, not saying like Mac was. I'm not saying necessarily here nor there, but you hear the stories about guys in the Hall of Fame that mentioned like how Bill Belichick would just be straight out and flat out front with everybody and tell them what they did wrong, like what they messed up on, things of that nature. Like nobody was off limits. Like he wasn't letting nobody slide. So you just kind of wonder, like, when a kid comes and asks for NIL or asks for extra X, Y, and Z, and I don't know, Bill Belichick may be like, you want extra NIL, but you're playing like this, or you're doing this on film, and this is not worthy of extra NIL money. Like, how would kids respond to that? Would they respond in a negative way or positive way? You don't know. Like in NFL, as a grown man, you know, like if Belichick is saying that to you, I got to straighten up or I'm gonna lose my job. But in college, with the transfer portal, guys know like if they don't like the situation, they can leave. So would that play a factor in what happens with him being a coach? So that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I worry about, because me as a kid coming up through that time, I could take the truth. Like my father was always straight up with me, even if it was bad. He knew we was gonna be mad at him. He didn't care, but he knew, he always told us the truth, and we knew what we was up against. So I always respected coaches who did the same thing to me. If I play like crap, tell me I play like crap. If I ain't playing like, you know what I'm saying, like don't fake the funk with me, like, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So, but I was able to handle it. I don't know how kids now be able to handle it. That's my only thing. Like I said, if they listening and they hear, like, I would say take constructive criticism, especially if he's talking to you, he sees something in you that you could be better than what you're proving, and it's just going to help you get better as a player and as a person. So that's my main thing.
Man, and look, as Carolina is working to get to the upper echelon of college football, that's what it's going to take, is young men who can handle that truth, handle that honesty, because if they want to get to that highest level, not only of college, but get to the NFL, that's what they got to get used to. So excited to see it. And I think that's a great point you bring up there, Search. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may or may not know, but our man, he played for the Bills for multiple years in the same division as the Bill Belichick Patriots. We're going to talk about like what made those teams so good, because you saw it up close and personal. And folks, I hate to tell you, but things didn't always go so well for the Bills as they went up against the Patriots. We'll look at that in just a second. We'll get to that right after I tell you about Rocket Mortgage. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That has definitely happened to a lot of people I know. They had a few subscriptions, didn't realize they were paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy for them to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money, it's a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings together everything in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions, reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. This episode is also brought to you by our good friends at Game Time. Going to college basketball games during the holidays, man, it's absolutely perfect. The atmosphere is fun. You got people dressed up like Santa. Well, 2 years ago when CBS Sports Classic was at Madison Square Garden, I was right there, and it was such a cool experience with all the New York Christmas stuff all around. And honestly, any live event at the holidays, how cool is it? On that same trip, we took our kids to see the Rockettes. Well, here's what's cool. Game Time has tickets for all of that and so much more. They're focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better and can be the perfect gift. I've already bought some Christmas gifts using Game Time this year. You should too. Check it out. In fact, you want to make a last-minute trip up to New York, go to the CBS Sports Classic? I found tickets as cheap as $64 each. That's for both games, so $32 a game, basically. Lower bowl, you can get in for as cheap as $124. That's marked as Game Time's super deal. Lots of great seats available. So take the guesswork out of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? It's game time. Isaac Schade, Da'Norris Searcy with you. We're talking about Bill Belichick coming to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Here in a second, we're going to look forward to expectations and staff makeup and some other things. But right now, I want to go back to Bill Belichick Patriots era. What's cool is Searcy played in the same division on the Bills 4 years, right? Am I thinking correct? Or 3?
Yeah, 4 years, man. 4 years, unfortunately.
And then played against him a couple times when he was a Titan as well, including a playoff game. And, talking about truth and being able to handle it, Da'Norris was 2-8 all time against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And so, Sirs, let's just get down into that. What made Bill Belichick Patriots teams so good? What defines them?
The fact that they was always on, they was ready for any and every situation. They knew how to handle. They knew how to handle the flow of the game. That's the main thing. When teams get up and down, the Patriots was always constant, and that's what drove you crazy. Like you would have to make like you see the teams that would beat them. They had freakish athletes that made freakish plays at the perfect time. Other than that, you wasn't beating them. Like you know what I'm saying. Like that was a team that was a factory. Like I mean, and rightfully so. Like they was always on. Like I think I beat them. I beat them the very first time I played against them in Buffalo as a Bill, and I beat them the very last time I played against them as a Bill. Other than that, no. Like now, I don't have great plays against them. My very first career NFL sack was against Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? My very first career touchdown in the NFL was against the Patriots on a fumble return. So I've had success, but we've lost. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the games been close. There's only been a couple of blowouts, especially when I was in Buffalo. Now, when I played against them in Tennessee, yeah, it was a blowout, especially in that playoff game. Like we knew it was over. Like I mean, you don't get me wrong. We came in with a game plan. We was already the underdog the week before we beat Kansas City in a wild card. So we knew anything was possible. So we went in there, but they was ready, man. But like I said, like they was always able to weather any storm. And if you couldn't match them blow for blow, you was losing. Like they knew how to win. Like you hear commentators talk about like Tom Brady knew probably by the third series of the game what he needed to do to win the game, and that's what they would do. And with Bill Belichick at the head, being the defensive coordinator, he knew everybody's offensive schemes. He knew the weakness of everybody's offensive schemes. And he attacked it just like their offense knew every weakness of every defense. And if you weren't able to match it or make a heck of a play here or there on your weakness of your defense, you was getting beat. So that's what made them so good, man. You can't hate. I mean, I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wanted to win. I'm a competitor, but at the end of the day, they got the best of me. They got the best of me. So I can't say that. I can't say I never won against them, but yeah, I didn't have very much success against them for sure.
So how did they get to such separation? Because these 32 teams are some of the very best elite athletes in the entire world, Da'Norris. Mm-hmm. What is it then that can take them and make them that much? Like you talked about, you said they're always constant. How do they achieve that year after year, despite like the parity that we see across the NFL always?
The main thing was Tom Brady, because Tom Brady was always one of the hardest working guys in the locker room. He was always early. He learned how to get there early by following Willie McGinnis, another guy who he won 3 Super Bowls with and whatnot. So when those guys left, he took on that leadership role. He still showed up. Guys show up and see the arguably one of the greatest players in the NFL. Not taking anything for granted. He's competing as though he's a rookie every day in and day out. These are stories I've heard, like guys just witnessing him. Of course, I know in the locker room, I always witnessed him on the battlefield. But the fact that he went into each and every offseason that's getting better, and like so nobody could slack because the greatest player is not slacking. So you had to pull your own weight. Not saying it's like that on every team, because teams got players like that work like that. But you don't have that many teams that have too many guys that could take over and be that leader and propel the team as such. But he had already built a reputation that he could do it. So once you arrive there, you just fall in line like everybody else. And then, like I said, you adopt that Patriot way. If you don't get it right or do it right the first time, they get somebody else in there that can. Like it's a business of winning, man. Like at the end of the tunnel, the Super Bowl championship. If you're not a chess piece that can help make that happen, hey, they're gonna get somebody else in there that can, and they have no hesitation on pulling that trigger. Whether it be trade or release or a cut, they could have got a night for a Super Bowl. So what that tell you? So
and that goes back to that honesty you were talking about earlier. This is about the business of winning, and we want to pat you on the butt and help you and make you get better, especially as an 18 to 22-year-old man. But end of the day,
you know why you're here.
This is a business. Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happening as we professionalize college athletics, is it turns into more of this NFL model. Now, Searcy, here's another question I want to ask you, because you went into the Tom Brady of it all. And as I've heard, I asked you and then your teammates, like, are you in on this? And basically it's yes. From any of the detractors I've heard, most of what they've said is, yeah, but Bill Belichick in the post-Brady era was not the same. And I don't think he's going to be, he's not got Tom Brady in Chapel Hill. So how is he going to be great? I want you to either defend that position or refute it.
I defend it because after Brady left, the league started flipping. Everybody was getting younger. Like, and with him not bringing in any help to help Brady out in his later years, but Brady was still able to win, it just finally caught up to him. But Brady was an older guy. He was very much older. So that's why he ended up going to Tampa, where he had more help. Like, he knew he could still deliver the ball and put the ball in places, but if he knew he had the right talent around him, he could do it. Like, Julian Edelman was retired, Grunt was gone, so he didn't have the same supporting cast. Like, he had the same skill set and leader mindset, but he didn't have the same supporting cast. And when he took that mindset and went to Tampa, you saw what happened. He had the talent around him. They won the Super Bowl. The league got tremendously younger. Like, you see now, it's quarterbacks in college football that's 24, 25 years old, and there's like 6, 7 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that's younger than that. So, you know what I'm saying? So with the league getting younger, the transition, then it's so many former players that are NFL coaches now is crazy. I mean, I love it because all you're doing is passing the knowledge in the game down. But I just
without a Tom Brady, then can Bill Belichick succeed at that same level? If he doesn't have like that dude or that dog on a Carolina team, will they be able to succeed?
Yeah, if you're willing to develop like and take coaching, because it's a learning process. The same stuff you learn in high school, you're gonna learn different stuff in college. Same stuff you learn in college, you're not like you could take a little bit to college. I mean, take a little bit to the NFL, to the pros, but it's also different. Like it's development. Whoever's able to develop and become like the greatest like player that they can be, you know what I'm saying? And Bill Belichick is a great like example of guys he could turn from average players into great players. He could put them in the best position to be successful. So, I mean, if guys are willing to come in and learn and get up under that tree and be, and able to and willing to work, man, then it'll pay off for him because he's proven it time and time again.
Absolutely. So then we've forecast ahead now. How quickly can Bill Belichick get this thing turned around? In the transfer portal era, we saw what happened to Indiana, basically from one season and one great coach. Can that be the reality? What's year 1 look like? What's year 5 look like? We're going to have that conversation coming up in just a second. But first, let's talk about the college football playoff on TNT. It's that time of year tonight. Actually, I almost said tomorrow, but it's tonight because there's 1 game tonight and 3 games tomorrow. The college football playoff is back. And with the newly expanded 12-team format, it's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting and high-flying excitement that you love. TNT Sports coverage of the college football playoff begins tomorrow, December 21st, starting with the college football playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T. That's 11 a.m. Eastern. That'll lead into our first matchup, the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, that's SMU, battling the Penn State Nittany Lions up in Pennsylvania at noon. Following that, the Clemson Tigers look to upset the Texas Longhorns in a showdown at 4 p.m. Eastern there in Austin. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the college football playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. All right, we turn back now from looking back at Coach Belichick's NFL career to forecasting ahead to what things are going to be like at North Carolina. It's so fun right now because it's like we're in this kind of honeymoon phase right after the announcement. We were talking just before we got going about how much fun spring practice is going to be to start seeing what things are actually looking like and then getting ahead to fall and fall camp and actually getting into the games. And, Searcy, that's where I want to turn the page next. What are the realistic expectations for year one?
I'm not sure. It depends on how fast guys are able to adapt to his system. You saw it. I mean, I'm not comparing Belichick to Coach Prime, but you see, like they went from I think they won like 4 games the first year, so they in the bowl game they had a chance to be in the championship game. So it's about how fast can you adapt to their system, and then with the transfer portal and things like that, like guys gonna want to play, but he's gonna want to evaluate and pick the best players. I believe he'll pick the guys who are most hungriest, the guys who are most eager to learn and more willing to listen and not necessarily fall in line, but do it the right way to get better as a person and as a player, because you're in the world of developing guys and getting them ready for the next level. So you want the best guys in there for sure. But then also it comes to the coaching staff. So with a lot of guys coming back, it'd be good, but everybody has to learn the same new system. So that's going to be the thing. So spring ball is going to be big. With developing guys and we're implementing a new offensive system and a new defensive system, special team system. I know, like when I was in UNC, we had an actual special team coach. Like he was an assistant. He wasn't like the head position coach and also coach a phase of special teams. He was a special team coach that helped out as an assistant at another position. So he had control of everything. And we need a coach to have more emphasis on that, because our special team was atrocious, especially early in the season with all the block punts.
Yeah.
We had Huzzy returned a couple punts for touchdowns, but we got opportunities with the athletes we got opportunities to make a big flip on that with the team. Because that's one of the phases that can help you win or lose a game. If you can score on special teams, if you score on if you score on 2 out of the 3 phases, you got a chance to win. If you get to score on all 3 phases, you got 100% chance to win. So you know what I'm saying? So I mean, special teams, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just hope things comes together and we get guys who can make that happen. I believe Coach Belichick will. He hired the grandson of the guy who's the Super Bowl trophy is named after. So that's another guy who's gonna come in and make another big impact. Like I know me as a recruiter, I'll be chomping at the bit. Me as a guy in the transfer portal, I'll be chomping at the bit, because these are guys who've seen it, done it from every level. They've worked with or against everybody that I admire in the NFL growing up as a kid. So that I would love to come play for him. That's what drew me to Carolina with Butch Davis. Butch Davis coach that recruited arguably two of the greatest safeties that I ever seen, and that's Ed Reed and Son Taylor. So, and I knew I was making a position switch from linebacker to safety, so I knew I was going to listen to whoever he brought in, because I'm just putting recruits in my shoes, like, you know what I'm saying, like how I would feel as a recruit right now today. I would be something at the bit to get up there. So however they adjust and get it moving, whoever we find as a quarterback, we don't know who it is. All the doors at every position is open now with a new regime coming there. So whoever can man down those positions and whoever can get the job done, I'm just waiting to see how it all plays out.
And it's encouraging to see so many of the young men who had entered the transfer portal once Coach Belichick was announced have come back, whether it's Amari Campbell or, several of the offensive linemen, Kobe Paysour recently. Like, that's right. Encouraging to me of like, whatever it is that Coach Belichick is selling, they're buying it, and that's a good thing. So, first, you mentioned Michael Lombardi, who comes on board to be the general manager. Things are going to look totally different for Carolina in that regard. But this is somebody that's obviously won Super Bowls with Coach Belichick. How important is having – because I think so many people know the Belichick side of it, but maybe don't realize the importance of having a high-level general manager to be able to run the roster and keep things together, who understands and knows Coach Belichick and his desires and wants already. How important is Michael Lombardi to this team?
It starts off at the top. You have two guys that's on the same page, the head coach and the GM. Like you said, two guys that have worked together. They know how to play off each other. They've been successful together. They won Super Bowl championships together. And it's hard. You think it's hard to win in college. It's damn sure. I mean, excuse my language, but it's damn sure hard to win in the NFL. So if they was able to get it done on that level, I'm pretty sure they got confidence in each other. They can get it done on the college level. It's just like I said, it's about managing players, getting guys in there who's willing to buy into the system, and willing to get developed. Because like you see Belichick coach guys who was good in New England, and they go other places and they're not so good. It's just Belichick knew how to idolize them and use them in the way that they could use their ability to the best as possible. So, and other teams can't figure it out, but he was. So, if I'm a player that's looking to grow and get better, have an opportunity to play at that next level, yeah, NIL will play a part in, but I'm saying I'm getting the best of both worlds. I get to get paid to play college ball, and I'm getting coached by the best coach and the best staff, because he's going to put together the best guys that he feels can get the job done and that he trusts, and he's going to bring in there to work best with the team. So it's like I said, I can't wait to see. It's still early. We ain't even had the bowl game yet, so
that's right. Yes.
So you just wait to see how things gonna play out, and I'm saying, like, but I'm excited, mainly because we got arguably the greatest coach of all time that's at our university. So I'm hyped to see how he does.
And we already know the schedule. Hosting TCU August 30th. That'll be the first game at Charlotte. Hosting Richmond at UCF. We don't know the order of the ACC schedule, but hosting Clemson, Duke, Stanford, and Virginia. Going on the road to Cal, got to make that first California trip, at Syracuse, at NC State, and at Wake. So that'll be the schedule. Yeah. So got to go to Cal, got to go to Central Florida, and got to go to Syracuse, man. That's some trips for this Carolina team.
I don't know about Syracuse, but that Cal and that Central Florida, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So we will see what happens. Sirs, here's the last thing I want to do on today's show before we get out of here. You are someone who played for this university. You are someone who played against and saw firsthand the Bill Belichick regime, if I can call it that. Yeah. I want you to make a closing final pitch. If you were talking to a high school recruit or a transfer portal recruit, what would you say to them about why they should come play for this coach at this university?
I would say, if you're looking to grow and get better as a player, if you're looking to get the teaching and the knowledge of a guy who's been around so many NFL players and so many different guys, he's been around guys your grandparents watched, your parents watched, now that you watch, he's coached against them. So you're getting the most knowledge out of somebody who can teach the game and has taught the game for so long. If you want to have that opportunity to not only get a great education, but also have an opportunity to play in the NFL, because I believe coaches in the NFL will listen to him when it comes to scouting and coming to talk about you. So if they're getting good word from him, you have a great opportunity to play at that next level and change your family lives. So I would take that chance.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm signing up. Isaac Schade, I got nothing I can do on a football team, but I'll hold a clipboard or something. Okay, Serge, great conversation today, my brother. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. I don't know what I'm talking about. To you, hope you have a great time with your family. We'll catch up after the holidays once we know more about the staff and more of the players and incoming dudes, and we can keep evaluating this thing. You guys, if you haven't subscribed to the show on YouTube, make sure you do that. Click. We're working to get to 10,000 YouTube subscribers in the first 3 years of the show. We are so close. help us get there. If you haven't joined the Locked On Tar Heels Discord community, man, it's a great place to hang out with other Tar Heels, talk about Carolina, whether it's football or basketball, baseball, whatever, all the time. That link's in the show notes. It's free to join. If you want to go even deeper, you can join Locked On Tar Heels Insiders, direct access to texting with me, lots of other perks as well. Make sure you get in on that. As a reminder, we got 2 other shows today, crossover with Locked On UCLA, and then Friday's show just with other odds and ends, talking basketball and weekend whip around, all that great stuff. You guys know the drill. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We're going to talk again tomorrow after the UCLA game. But until then, sirs, tell them a Merry Christmas version.
Peace.